Imagine for a moment the source of everything, this vast consciousness.
Right.
And it's blinking, opening and closing its eyes.
That's quite an image, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's mind-bending. And look, if you're like me, you love these big ideas, but you want to, get it without drowning in complexity, and that's what we're trying to do today.
Absolutely. And the framework we're digging into, inspired by Kiersey Makinen's work, it's just, well, it offers a really fascinating way to look at consciousness, creation, our part in it all.
Right. This isn't some dry lecture. It's about those aha moments, seeing things in a new light. We're going to unpack some pretty deep stuff, formlessness, our own agency, this whole divine horse thing, and the witness versus the creator inside us. But hopefully in a way that feels like we're figuring it out together.
Sounds good. So maybe we jump right in with that core idea. God consciousness having these two states, seeing and not seeing, that non-dual core.
Okay, so seeing, that's like the lights coming on, illuminating things, bringing awareness. Form.
Exactly. Think of that. That flash of insight, or when something creative just clicks into place. That's the seeing.
And not seeing is what? Just resting. Pure potential.
Resting in pure being, yeah. Before anything takes shape. Like the quiet before the music starts. The potential.
Makinen uses some really great analogies here, right? Like Shiva opening his eyes.
Right. That active, creative gaze from Hindu tradition, the spark of creation itself.
Well, the opposite. God withdrawing.
Yeah.
Tzimtzum in Kabbalah.
Precisely. That contraction to make space. It's not absence. It's like stepping back. Or, Brahman in Vedanta, just observing the cosmic play, the Leela.
It's almost like existence itself is optional.
Yeah.
A kind of play. That's a wild thought.
It really is. And that brings us to a really key point for us, for humans. Even if that ultimate consciousness withdraws, the human eye, which Makinen kind of sees as its reflection, has agency. Real choice.
Okay, this is crucial. We're not just puppets.
Not at all.
We're creative lenses, she says. We actually shape things by where we put our focus.
And that power, that agency, it really comes down to a choice, doesn't it? A kind of fork in the road.
Yeah. We can choose to step into that creative flow, be that open eye ourselves, birth new ideas, new ways of being.
Embodying that divine will, creating new pathway.
Or, and this is such a powerful image, we can castrate the horse.
Right. Let's unpack that a bit because it sounds intense, but symbolically.
Yeah, what is the horse here? Symbolic.
It's that raw instinctual power, the life force, the energy that animates everything. Drive, passion, the untamed aspect.
Okay. And it can be wild or it can be like channeled.
Exactly. It can serve the ego's whims or it can serve something deeper, the soul's purpose.
So castration is shutting that down, fear of that power.
Pretty much. Stifling it, believing it's bad or dangerous, it's cutting off that vital energy, that divine momentum, as she calls it.
And the result is stagnation, disconnection.
Yeah, choosing a kind of numb safety over actually living, over the dance of becoming.
But the alternative is understanding it, working with that energy.
Exactly. Training the horse, riding it, even loving its power. That's joining the dance. That's engaging fully.
What really strikes me there is, even if the source is sometimes still, it's through us, through our choices, that the energy flows back into the world. Our eye is like a sacred opening.
A sacred aperture, yes. We can be the will-breathing life, or the fear holding it back, which is huge.
Yeah. And this leads to that question about divine will being instinctual, right? Not like biological reflex, but something deeper.
Right. Not just fight or flight. It's more primal, more sacred, as you say, a felt sense almost that comes before thought, a force moving through the soul.
Like the impulse behind the Big Bang, maybe? Or just that gut feeling before you can explain it?
Exactly. The mind can notice it, analyze it later maybe, but it doesn't produce it. It's a receiver.
And it's different from just wanting stuff. Ego desires.
Yeah, she distinguishes it clearly. Desire is often about lack, about the ego. This is more like a rightness felt in the bones, a deep yes from your core, from the womb of the world, as she puts it poetically.
Okay, which brings us to another symbol, the one eye versus two eyes. What's the deal there?
Yes. This pops up in a lot of mystical traditions. The one eye is about unity, right? Formlessness, inner seeing, pure awareness. Think Ajna Chakra, maybe.
No separation, just oneness, stillness.
Exactly, like Nirvikalpa Samadhi or the void or the Tao before things split. Pure potential, undifferentiated.
Okay. And the two eyes. That's duality, seeing the world.
That's the emergence into form, subject and object, light and shadow, you and me, time and space. It's how we experience the world, interact, participate.
So one eye is the witness, pure observation, and two eyes are the creator, acting in the world.
Precisely. It's the soul getting embodied. And duality isn't bad here. It's the canvas. It's where the soul paints its picture, learns, expresses. It's like coming back from that pure void into the richness of life. Subsistence after annihilation, some Sufis call it.
Coming back into form, but with the memory of the formless.
Right, with a deeper understanding.
But then, what if even the observer disappears? Is there a state beyond the witness?
Mekinen talks about this, yes. A state before origin, before even being itself. The dark womb before light. It's hard to put into words.
Like the ultimate nothingness that everything comes from.
Exactly. She uses terms like Ein Sof from Kabbalah, the infinite no thing.
Or Sunyata in Buddhism. Emptiness is potential.
Right. Or unmanifest Brahman, the great night. It's before silence, before stillness, because there's nothing else yet for it to be silent or still relative to.
The ultimate zero-point field.
Uh-huh.
The womb where even God dreams.
That's a beautiful way to put it. The absolute source.
So the sequence is kind of divine will rests in that darkness. Then opens one-eye awareness arises. Then opens two eyes, creation unfolds.
That's the progression she lays out, from nothingness to unified awareness to the multiplicity of creation, a fascinating journey.
And what's really cool is how she starts connecting these like really mystical ideas to physics.
Yeah, the parallels she draws are quite thought-provoking, like between dark matter and the dark womb.
Okay, how does that work? Dark matter is invisible stuff holding galaxies together, right?
Indeed.
We know it's there from gravity, but can't see it.
Exactly. And the dark womb is that unseen, primordial source of everything, beyond our normal perception.
Both are fundamental, powerful, essential, but invisible.
That's the connection she makes. Dark matter as maybe this scientific fingerprint of the dark womb, the cosmos still holding an echo of its origin, science detecting the shadow of that potentiality.
Wow. Okay, that is mind-expanding. What about the zero-point field and black holes? How do they fit?
Both are like thresholds, right? Liminal spaces. The zero-point field in quantum physics isn't empty. It's buzzing with potential energy, virtual particles popping in and out.
Pure potential.
And a black hole is this boundary where gravity collapses space-time, where our physics breaks down, a point of no return, seemingly.
So gateways.
Kind of. But Mekinen suggests they're like thresholds. Some theories even link black holes to zero-point fields. Mystically, maybe a black hole is a gate back to the unmanifest, and the zero-point field is the fertile ground from which things emerge. Gates between what is and what could be.
And the witness creator maps on to Shiva and Shakti.
Very directly. Shiva is that pure, still awareness, the witness, unmoving consciousness.
Right.
And Shakti is the dynamic energy, the creation, the manifestation, the creator force.
So Shiva's the silence, Shakti's the sound, Shiva's the potential, Shakti makes it real.
Perfect analogy. Seed and flower, stillness and motion. They're two sides of one coin. Inseparable.
So how does knowing this help us in daily life?
Well, Mekinen suggests we embody both. Our ability to just watch our thoughts, be still, that's our inner Shiva.
Okay.
And our creativity, our actions, how we engage with the world, that's Shakti flowing through us. Balancing them is key, finding that interplay within ourselves.
Like we're a little microcosm of that cosmic dance.
Yeah.
And you mentioned she goes beyond just associating Shiva with masculine and Shakti with feminine.
Yes, that's really important. While those associations exist, fundamentally they represent principles that transcend gender. Stillness and motion, awareness and energy, form and formlessness.
So Shiva isn't male dominance, it's just pure presence, the observer, the still point.
Exactly. The subject, unchanging awareness.
And Shakti isn't female passivity, but dynamic power, the creative flow, the matrix.
Precisely. She's the manifestation, the dance.
Yeah.
Far from passive. She is the world we experience.
And ultimately, they're not two, but one.
In non-dual views, yes. Their union is the goal in Tantra, for example. Shiva needs Shakti to express. Shakti needs Shiva for grounding, for awareness. They need each other.
It's that interplay again. Shiva becomes aware through Shakti, and Shakti finds meaning in Shiva's awareness.
Right. And that mirrors us, doesn't it? Our stillness, Shiva, lets us see our actions, Shakti, and our expression, Shakti, gives meaning to our inner world, Shiva. We're both.
Which leads to that idea of the spiral of divinity, involution and evolution. How does that work?
Okay, so Shiva represents involution, the descent, consciousness moving into form, the one becoming many.
Right, moving outward.
And Shakti represents evolution, the return journey, Form moving back towards the formless, but now enriched by experience, by love, the many remembering the one.
And humans are. Where in this spiral?
We're kind of the crucial turning point. We receive Shakti's descending energy, the impulse to manifest, but we also have that Shiva-like awareness potential. Our journey is to consciously embody Shakti, express that energy authentically, and offer that lived experience back to Shiva, allowing consciousness to know itself in new ways through us.
So there are stages. Shiva, involution, Shakti, human experience at evolution.reunion. Then what?
Then a kind of transcendental oneness, but one that's now aware of its own journey, its own richness, because of the whole cycle. It's deepened its self-knowledge.
And the human soul is the meeting point, where Shiva and Shakti wake up as one.
Beautifully put. That's the essence of it.
And there are astrological links here, too. Uranus and Saturn.
Yeah, archetypally, you can see it. Uranus, the sky god, breaking forms, sudden awareness, kind of like Shiva's impulse.
Yeah.
And Saturn, structure, form, limitation, the womb of manifestation that aligns well with Shakti.
And Chiron, the wounded healer.
Chiron orbits between them, right? Often seen as the bridge. It embodies that human condition, feeling separate, wounded, yet longing for wholeness, bridging matter and spirit. So we are walking that Chiron bridge, holding both the Uranian spark and the Saturnian form.
Wow. That really situates our journey. And what about gravity? You linked gravity to Shakti.
It's a really poetic, deep connection. Physics links gravity and time, right? Gravity shapes space-time.
Yeah, it's time.
But metaphysically, especially in Tantra, gravity is seen as more than just physical attraction. It's Shakti's sacred pull, the love drawing spirit into form, binding things together.
So it exists both in time, shaping events, and beyond time.
Exactly. Beyond time, it's that fundamental longing for union, the will to form before form exists, a kind of cosmic memory of oneness, a yearning in the void.
So Shiva, one. Shakti, many. And human consciousness is the mirror and the bridge.
That's it. They're the sacred pulse of becoming. And we are unique because we can reflect on this pulse. We can become self-aware of the process. We don't just observe creation. We reflect it, midwife it, help it evolve.
So when we create something, art, music, whatever, it's not just us.
It's divine patterns becoming self-aware through us. It's Shakti made conscious through human expression. Creation needs that reflection to be complete.
Shiva, one, leads to Shakti, many, creates the world, humans reflect, leading back to reunion. Got it.
Right.
Now tell me about remembering echoes, fractals, and shadow. What are these echoes?
Think of remembering echoes as soul memory. The soul hearing a faint call from its source, resonating through our material experience. A call and response between us and the divine.
And fractals and shadow fit in.
Fractals, those repeating patterns are like Shakti's signature everywhere, right? From galaxies to snowflakes to our thoughts. The one manifesting as the many.
Okay.
And the shadow is the unconscious part of that fractal pattern within us. Not bad, just unseen. A divine echo forgotten. When consciousness, Shiva, illuminates the shadow and our being, Shakti, engages with it, integrates it, that's the remembering. That's growth.
And that union, Shiva, consciousness, and Shakti form, that's the spiritualization of matter.
Precisely. It's alchemy, stillness embracing energy. Consciousness descending into the body, into life and form, rising to meet awareness with love. It happens in meditation, creativity, even just mindful moments, the cosmos remembering itself through us.
You also use the term mythopoetic. What does that mean here?
It's just about using language that speaks to the soul, symbols, metaphors, archetypes, not just intellectual facts. It taps into intuition, emotion, the wisdom in myths. It kind of summons the soul into the conversation.
Makes sense. Okay, let's look at that splitting integration process again. Witness and creator within us. How does that cycle work?
Well, the initial split, witness, Shiva, creator, Shakti, creates duality, allows experience. But then it gets fractal. The creator becomes aware, so she becomes a subject observing her creations, objects. Awareness becomes ego. Ego evolves into soul. Each level has a kind of fall, a separation, and then a return, an integration at a higher level.
A continuous cycle of separating and coming back together, but on a new level each time. And interjection and unfolding are part of this.
Right. Introjection of the witness is when the soul, the creator part, gets a sense of its true self, that pure awareness, but sees it as other, something outside, like a hidden treasure.
Ah, okay.
Unfolding is the process of digesting that, integrating it, the creator realizing that witness is her own true nature. It leads to soul sovereignty.
But it's not always easy, right? You mentioned confusion being necessary.
Absolutely essential. That developmental confusion, the dark night, feeling lost. It's the space before the creator fully identifies with the witness. It's the messy bit where old stuff dissolves so the new self can be born. Necessary chaos.
And you used the river and spiral metaphors for this.
Yeah, the river shows you can return to a similar place, but you've changed, the river's changed, so the perspective is new. The spiral shows it's not just repetition, but deepening understanding. We cycle through, projecting outward, interjecting insight, unfolding internally, integrating, then reaching out again from a new place. Even our idea of the witness deepens, starting a new spiral turn.
And there's a hidden loop in there, a liminal womb.
Yes. Between introjection, taking the idea in, and unfolding, making it real inside. That's the gestation period. The quiet, unseen processing, the womb space where the new understanding grows before it becomes conscious. Mythopoetically, the underworld, the black egg, the divine feminine at work.
And there are two big womb phases in this evolution.
It seems so, mapping onto developmental stages. Womb 1, maybe around level 5.0 integration. That's the deep dive into personal shadow, ego dissolution, birthing the true self.
Okay, personal work.
Then Womb 2, maybe level 6.0. That's about recognizing interconnection, integrating collective stuff, birthing the world soul, the divine human, passing through the mirror twice, first maybe with confusion, second time with more radiance, clarity, leading to co-creation without needing to control.
Wow. Okay, bringing this all together, what's the single biggest takeaway from all this for someone listening?
I think it's that consciousness isn't static. It's this living, dynamic process of unfolding, remembering, integrating. And we are not just watching it happen, we're active, vital parts of it. Creative lenses, bridges through us. The divine expresses itself and learns about itself.
That feels really significant, empowering. And what's a good question for people to maybe sit with after hearing all this?
Maybe just gently ask, how does thinking about this change how I see my own creativity? My connection to everything? Or what echoes, what little soul nudges am I noticing in my own life right now?
Great prompts if people want to go deeper.
Well, definitely reflecting on their own divine horse, that inner energy, and how they relate to it. Reading Kirsi Mekan indirectly, obviously. And exploring those traditions we touched on, Kabbalah, Vedanta, Tantra. There's so much wisdom there.
Absolutely. Well, this has been incredibly rich. Thank you so much for walking us through it all.
My pleasure. It's fascinating stuff to explore.
And thank you, everyone, for joining us on this deep dive. We really hope it sparks some new thoughts, maybe a fresh perspective on your own part in this incredible unfolding of consciousness.